what we did the other day is we're trying to create something that you guys can utilize and you can take to the owners and you can say, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're seeing. Here's what's changing, because they don't listen to us when we present to them the financial statements. But we just did a dashboard. We call it a daily operating control sheet. You guys can put whatever you want on it. What's important to you? The Andersons at one time had a guy there that was from Harvard, and he said, everybody says this is what you got to look at. And he said, what you got to look at is what makes a difference to you. So we're telling you what we think you ought to look at. What you might want to look at could be totally different than this. What your owner might want to look at might be totally different, you know? So when you create this document, what we said is cash. We said, let's put cash in there. Why? Because cash is king, cash is everything. Let's tell everybody how much cash we have. If we got $1 million of cash for the current month, great. Our year to date, we've got that much cash, to be the same amount, right? Last year's, what is it? Did cash go up? Did cash go down? Did cash change? Why is cash changing? Accounts receivable. Are accounts receivable up? Are they down? Why are they down? Have we collected some huge amounts? If they're up, are we not doing any collection efforts on them? Are we not getting the money that we need to have in there? Okay, again, current month, year to date should be the same prior year. What was it in the past? Is it equivalent? Is it comparable? Is it trending along with our sales increases? New contracts. What do we got going on? What's happening in the current month? What new contracts do we have? And I think we had some more on this, but I'm not sure. Underneath it. There is more here, I think.
They have the whole thing.
They have the whole thing? Well, give me the whole thing there. Okay, good. You have the whole thing. I don't have it on the screen, but I have in here jobs in process. Again, how many jobs are in process? Are there 10 jobs in process, 15 jobs in process, 20? And we ask for detail behind this, but on this sheet, we just want a number. Closed jobs. How many jobs did we close in the month? Okay? Then we're going to ask gross margin. We're going to say, what is our gross margin on these jobs? Where are we at? What actually happened?
Because you go back to closed jobs, just like what you said here, if I remember right, you said, I got to have 9 closed jobs to break even, right? And a lot of people say that. They won't tell me what their sales price is. I know a lot of guys who say, I need to close X amount of jobs and I'll break even. You guys probably do that too, right? Because you know what your sales price is. So that's why we say, don't we say number and revenue?
And so if you see this worksheet, we have a number. So a lot of people, again, builders, some people do it on number, some people do it on amount. We have gross margin. We have last year's gross margin. We have this year's gross margin. We have year-to-date gross margin. What is it? These guys forget it. They just think volume. They just think, let's build more, let's have more people. They don't look at the numbers. Gross margin should be 18%. Net income should be 15% or 10%. What is the average net income on a builder?
After taxes, about what, 3%, 4%?
After taxes, but before taxes, 5, 6%. I mean, they should be there. And if they're not, that means what? Their SG&A is too high. It means something. These are statistics for everybody. And then we have down here 2016 gross margin goal. Again, we have the goals that Dave talked about earlier when we talked about budgeting, gross margin, cycle time, customer satisfaction, other. What is relevant? What do you think is relevant? What should the builder be looking at? What does the builder always ask about? What is relevant to that builder? And then we put down the current ratio. We're saying 1.3 to 1. We talked about that earlier. The debt to equity, 3 to 1. You've got builders in this room probably with debt to equity ratios of 10 to 1. You know, you've got builders in this room that have debt to equity ratios of 0.5 to 1. They have too much capital in their companies. What's a good goal that we should have? And then down at the bottom, we put controller comments. Why? You guys are extremely relevant to your companies. And what we find as CPAs when we go out to see these clients, we go, what does your controller say? What does your bookkeeper say? What do they say? Do they see problems? Do they see things on the horizon? Do they see project managers that don't know what they're doing? Do they see estimators that don't know what they're doing? Do they see some things that we don't? And can we put those on here so that we discuss them in that meeting? So here's what we tried to do is we tried to prepare something like this, because when you go to see that business owner and when they say, I'm too busy now, or when they're on that phone and going, just wait, I got to take this customer. It's a big one. It's a big one. It's his girlfriend calling, actually. But I mean, you know, what you do is you give them the sheet and you say, hey, look, I saw this. I don't like this. I see a trend that's not going the right way. Think about it. And that's what we're trying to do with the dashboard. And so you have a sample dashboard in there, and then we have descriptions as to what goes along with it on the back.
And the description, if you go into that, that's as important to understand what that is.
Right. Well, I mean, and you go through it. Again, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Cash per your reconciled bank statement. Accounts receivable, we believe that you should have an accounts receivable aging. Everybody prepares one, right? We think that you should have a list of accounts payable. Everyone prepares one with proper cutoff. We want you to have a list of all new contracts. We think that the list should be available. It doesn't have to be attached to this. We just think it should be available. Again, the status of all work in process. I believe, Dave believes, almost everyone in this room that's doing extremely well has a work in process report prepared monthly, reviews it monthly. It is the biggest, most important thing that exists in your industry right now, period. Okay? And then, of course, the closed jobs. We like to do how did you describe it? What did you say? Looking at closed jobs, that's the reality.
Postmortem?
That's the postmortem. What did you do? What did you really do? How did it close out? What did it end up? You know, a lot of talk, a lot of everybody telling you how much percent they're going to get, and it comes out to be 14%. Why? What happened to us that we would do and take on a job with only 14%? When right now we're screaming to get our jobs done because we don't have appropriate help. We need to raise our prices. We need to get that margin up. Everybody else is. The reality is if everybody else can do it in any market, why aren't we? And the first place Dave and I go is it's you. You're not thinking. You're not charging enough. You're not managing your company well enough. And we see that people that are told and shown how to manage their company better make a lot more money. Again, 1%, 2%. Take your gross sales, take 1%, 2% of it. Big diff.